This is Untitled Chapter, and today in this video we'll be discussing on how you can actually create an image editing agent with Google's Nano Banana image generation model with N8N. So let's get started. So what are the requirements for this video? So an N8N account, either self-hosted or cloud account. But if you're using self-hosted account, make sure that your server has at least 8 GB of RAM. Otherwise, this particular automation, it gets stuck in between. And you also need the Gemini API key. So I'll show you how you can get the API key later. So first of all, what does this automation do? See, it accepts an image through Telegram, then uploads the image in Google Drive, asks the user what kind of edits are required, then edit the images using Google Nano Banana, and then sends back the image through Telegram and allows iterative editing because this is something that most of the automations does not have. Like whatever edits you received from the AI, you can just iterate on that edit and keep going. Now let me just quickly show you some examples of editing that is done by this particular AI agent. So let me just quickly open my Telegram account. Now this is a bot that I have created. See, this is a sample image that I uploaded. I'm not sure if you can see it properly. Yeah, this is a sample image that I uploaded to the bot. And see, once an image is uploaded, it will ask you, thank you for providing the image. Please let us know the edits you require. So this is my workroom. Redesign this room and make it a professional workroom. Now see the image it has generated. It has entirely redesigned that particular room. Then again make the wires disappear. Then see, make this a red themed room. So it has made it into a red themed room. So this is the kind of edits. And let me just quickly show you an example. So this is my photo that I uploaded to the AI. So again, thank you for providing the image. Please let us know the edits you require. Make the background yellow. So this image background, now it is changed to yellow. Let me quickly show you the image. See, the background got changed to yellow. Now again, change the dress to a professional dress. So again, see, actually the full image is not visible because there is a cut through for the video. But again, as you can see, the dress has changed. Now again, can you add glasses to the image and can you make it like a professional headshot? See here. Made it look like a professional headshot and glasses are added. So this is the kind of output you are going to get. This is the kind of quality you can expect. See, I have tested different image generation models and I have to say this nano image generation model, it's just a game changer. So this is the board that I have built and this is what I'm going to show you how to build. And how much can you charge for this automation? See, you can easily charge somewhere around $1,000 to $2,000 for setup fees. It's a matter of customizing this board to different agencies. See, this is something that I built for a real estate client of mine. Okay. So what he is going to do is he's going to offer it as an add-on with his services. So he'll tell his prospects that he actually has an AA agent which will furnish any room for him. And he will provide this Telegram agent. So this Telegram agent would be created under his company's branding. And his prospects, like whenever they like a room, they can just upload a photo to the AA and ask it to furnish that room. So this can be customized to different industries. So real estate industry, that is just an example I have given. You can customize it to n number of industries. Now let us get started with the automation. So this is the automation that I have created. So I'll explain each step one by one. So this is actually a Telegram bot. So for that, you actually need a Telegram trigger. So just go here, search for Telegram, and under Telegram, under triggers, you have an option called on message. So this is the one you should be using. So add the Telegram trigger. Then you need to add the credentials. In my case, credentials are already there. If you do not have credentials, click on new here. And you need to get an access token. So if you want to know how to generate the access token, just click on open docs and see here. It has given you very detailed instructions on how to get this activated. Okay. So all you have to do is just start a chat with this particular account, board father. I'll give you a link to this particular account as well. See, copy link. In fact, I'll just show you in Pastebin. I'll just put it in Pastebin and show you. See, all you have to do is start a chat with this particular account, telegram.me/boardfather. Okay. And then you have to type this new board. Okay, then it will ask you for the name and username. You just have to give the details, and after that it will give you the token. In fact, let me just quickly show you how I create it. So this is my chat with the bot father account. So see here, I have just messaged with new bot. So I'll write a new bot. How are we going to call it? Please choose a name for your bot. So home furnishing AI, and good. Now let's choose a name. Choose a username for your bot. It must end in bot. And see here, I have given it a name. And now the bot is created. And see here, use this token to access the HTTP API. So this is the token. So you just need to copy it. So you can just copy this token and put it here and click on save. Okay, and I would also recommend that you give it a meaningful name here. Okay, just edit the name here and click on save. So that's basically how you set up the Telegram trigger. Now I'll show you the sample data that you're going to receive. Like if a user just sends an image, I'll show you the sample data. See, I've actually pinned that data so that you can actually see how the data would look like. So if you send an image, this is how it looks like. This is how the data would look like. So it will have a chat ID. See, there's an ID. Then again, first name and last name of the user. Then there is a thumbnail image, and see, this one is the lowest resolution and this one is the highest resolution. The file details. So this is basically the input. Now what I have added is I have added an if node. So this is the if node. Route items to different branches. So I have added it here. And in if node, all it checks is like, is there an item called photo? Okay. So this is the item photo. So all I am doing is I am just dragging and dropping it and checking if this particular item exists. Where is the photo? See, this is the photo. All I am doing is just dragging and dropping it here and see if this item exists. So yeah. So if this particular item photo exists, that means that the message that we have received, it is actually a photo. That's what we are doing it here. Then see here. I've gone to objects and selected exist and convert types when required. Because if you don't tick this, you might get an error. So if it is actually a photo, what it will do is it will run this side of the automation. And if it is actually a message, see, messages means basically how to edit the image. Then this particular side of the automation would be run. So first what we'll do is we'll create this particular area. See, like if it is a photo, like you need to actually download that image. Okay. So for that, again, there is a node for Telegram. So in Telegram, the option is called get a file. Add this one. Add this node and everything same as it is. And next what you have to do is, see, I have to drag and drop the file ID. File ID means this one. See, don't drop the file ID of this particular first element, because first element, it is basically the thumbnail. Image would be very low quality. So the second file ID only copy. Okay. So just drag and drop this file ID to here and select the option download. Now when you just test it, the output would look like something like this. So basically the data would be downloaded. That particular image would be downloaded. Now, once an image is downloaded, what I have to do is like I'll upload this image to a Google Drive and transform it to base64 string. And please note that this base64, this particular node is not actually required, but I'm just doing it for future optimization. Because if you remove this particular node, your automation's running time can be reduced by at least 5 to 6 seconds. And yeah, so for uploading file, again, you just need to search for Drive, Google Drive, and you have an option here called upload a file. So upload the file. And please make sure that your account, Google Drive account, is actually connected to your N8N account. See, if you haven't connected your Google Drive account to N8N, please, like, you can just follow the instructions here. Create new credentials, and you can just follow those instructions here. I will attach a link to one of my videos under the description of this video. So you can follow that video and get your Google Drive connected to your N8N account. So everything leave it as it is. Then file name. So you need to get the file. See, this is actually the file name of the file that would be uploaded. So to make every image unique, I'm using this particular unique ID. So this is the unique ID. So this will be different for each image. So I'm just dragging and dropping it here. So that would be the name of the uploaded file. And parent drive, I'm selecting my drive. And I have created a folder inside my drive called Home Furnishing AI, where all these images would be uploaded. Let me just quickly see if I can show you that. See, this is the Home Furnishing AI folder. See, all images that my bot is receiving, everything is uploaded here in this here. And that unique file ID is used as the name. And once you upload the file and if you test it, you will be getting an output similar to this. So you'll get a web content link, that is the direct download link to that particular file. And you will also get a web view link. So all these details are there. And I am also adding another node called transform to base. So for that, yeah. So extract, yeah, convert, yeah, extract from file, I guess. Move file to base 64 string. This is the one you should be selecting. And as for input binary field, against the data. So what it would do is it will convert this image into kind of a text, base 64 string. See, it's a very long image. Sorry, very long text. Because we are doing it because we can only send it like this to the image editing AIs. But I'll show you in the future. Like when we are discussing about the editing part, I'll show this in much depth. So yeah, that is basically what is done here. So yeah, input field is data. See, this is the name. So I'm giving the data, and output field I have given it as data just to make the process easier. Then what I'm doing is I'm using a merge node because I want to combine the output from both this. See, you're getting one output, one JSON output from here and one JSON output from here. So I need to combine both these outputs. So for that, what we are using, I'm using the merge node. So I have added the merge node and I have connected both this to here, merge node. And see, merge node would again give me two outputs. It combined the outputs of both this and gave me an output. But the problem is like after merge node, it is coming as two items, two JSON items. I want to combine everything into one single item. See, it is not necessary to have all these steps, but I have designed it in this way so that it is easier for me to expand on this particular automation in future. Okay? So in future, if I need, I can add more nodes here and connect it to merge node and do the aggregation. So just keeping future in mind, I have designed it like this. Then I'm using aggregate so that it will combine both the JSON output from the merge node into one item. So for that, again, you can just search for aggregate here and all select the option all item data into single list and output in the field data and include every field. All these things look good. Next, what we are going to do is we are going to add an image. Sorry, we are going to add an edit field. So just search for edit field, add it here, and I've added like three things. One is image link. The image link would be the one we have received from the upload file node. So this particular web content view, this particular link I'm using here. Then image hash would be the one we have received from transform to base. This particular data I have just dragged and dropped it here. Then the ID can be anything. I'll choose it from the first step. See, this is the ID from that is the ID of the user who have messaged you. So this is the ID. I have just dragged and dropped it here. Now see everything is created. Now what I will do is I will create an Airtable database where I'll upload all these images, all the data of the images and keep. So for that you have to go to Airtable and create a new table. To create a table, all I have to do is just click on create button here, then build an app on your own workspace. Yeah, my workspace. Then build an app on your own. Then it will open up something like this. It's actually creating the table and everything. Now you can delete all the unwanted tables, unwanted columns in the table, and you can create something that is matching this particular table. So you have the ID here, and ID, if you click here and edit field, you can see the format is number. Okay. Then you can, again, if you want to add a new column, if it is base image, it would be a single line text data type. Select that. And for base 64, it would be long line. Again, this field, as I told you, it's not completely necessary because I'm trying a different set of automations to avoid this particular field. Okay. And see, it would be long text format. So everything looks good. This is how you create the Airtable table. And here for Airtable, just search for Airtable. Then you have an option called create or update a record. Select that. And you need to add a token. So for that, click on create new credentials and just follow this. I'll open the documents. It will give you the exact step by step. See, all you have to do is just go to your personal access token page and click on create token, then give token, then click on add scopes, then add the scopes required. Select the scopes required. See, these are the scopes required for our automation. So make sure that you select these scopes, and then all you have to do is click on create token. And once you receive the token, put it here and save it. So that is basically how you connect Airtable to your account. And next here, see, from the base, I have selected my table which I have connected. See, this is my table. Yeah, this is my table. So I have selected home furnish AI table and see a column to match on ID. Okay. So whenever the same user is sending a different images, so what it will do is, see, in this Airtable, this base image link would be changed. For example, if you have finished editing or if you want to edit a different image, you will send a new image. So whenever you are sending a new image, this base image link would be always changed. Okay, the new images link would be given here. So yeah, so the ID using to match would be JSON ID from our previous field. The previous field, yeah. So it would be the, see, this ID I have dragged and dropped it here. And the field which we'll be editing or updating would be base image link only. So for now, I am not using this particular field. So as I told you earlier, if you want, you can avoid that. And see, this is the image link. I have just dragged and dropped it here, the Google Drive link. So that is what we are doing here. And next, once this image upload is successful, we are going to send a message. For that, again, we are using Telegram Note. And I have an option here called send a text message. That is the one I am using. And the chat ID would be the one from our trigger. So this would be the chat ID. Just drag and drop it here. Add a text. See, I have added a text like this. Thank you for providing the image. Please let us know the edits you require. So this particular part is completed because this is the area that handles, that is whenever you get an image, it will actually upload the image in the Google Drive and set up everything in the Airtable table. Now let's get started with implementing the logic for image editing part. So this is the logic for that part. So let me just quickly load a successful automation which does this image editing. So for that, see, now let me just quickly show you how a message, send a message trigger would look like. Because now in the earlier step, I showed you how, what happens, what would be the input if the message contains a photo. But if the input message contains only a text message, this is how the input would look like. So here, see, in the if node, if you remember the last time we did, like we are actually checking if this field exists. The field was called photo, but see here there is no field called photo. So automatically the this false step would get executed. Next, what we are doing is we are using an Airtable node, which will actually check if the particular person has already messaged us before, or if the particular person has already sent an image before. That is what the search record this particular node does. So for that, we'll be using an Airtable node. So just search for Airtable. and you have an option for search records. So that is the node we'll be using. So add search node, and here you see a personal, the account which you have connected earlier. Everything leave it as it is. And from base, select your table name and the base and the table name. Then filter by formula. So use it exactly like this. That is ID in curly brackets equal to, then in the brackets, the Telegram trigger, the node. See, in the Telegram trigger, we have this ID, right? So that ID, put it there, and return all options select. And one important thing to note here is that please make sure that you're going to settings and selecting this option, that is always output data, because this is needed for this automation to work properly. So make sure that you switch on this option. Otherwise, see, the reason why we are doing is, if we do not switch on this option, like the automation, the workflow would get stuck there, stuck in this particular node. But if it actually emits some kind of output, it can be used for checking here in the if node. So I have added a if node, and in the if node, all I am checking is if the ID, this JSON ID exists. Because see, if it doesn't exist, what it will do is it will return a blank array, okay, an empty array. Okay. So if you remember in the last node, I have switched on the option always output data, because if that option was not there, it won't output. If the ID does not exist, it won't output any data, and the automation would get stuck in this particular step. So I have added ID here. So it's a number. So number, and I'm checking if it exists. So if it exists means it's actually checking if the data, if this person has actually sent us a message before, and if that image is actually uploaded in our Airtable table. So that is what we are doing here. We are checking it, and see, if at all the image is not uploaded. So if it doesn't exist, it would be again a send message, Telegram send message node. And again, the text would be please upload a image to edit, and ID would be the chat ID we have used. And if at all the image exists, if an image exists means that person has already uploaded a base image, and all he is doing, trying to do now is trying to edit that particular image. Okay. So once he has sent, like once it is there, we'll be sending a message like, please wait 30 seconds while we work our magic. Because Nano's this image editing feature, it will take somewhere around 20 to 30, 35 seconds. So if you do not send any message, user might feel like the automation got stuck or the bot got stuck. So to avoid that, like if there is a record in the Airtable database, and if you are before editing itself, we'll send them a message asking them to wait for 30 seconds. So people know that they have to wait for 30 seconds before getting an output. And once that is done, next what we would be doing is, like, we'll be downloading that image. See, in our Airtable, like we have given the base image links, right? The image links. So that image we have to download. So that is what we are doing here. For that, all we are doing is just adding an HTTP node, and it would be get method, and the URL would be from the search records. See, in the search records, we have the base image link here in the table, right? So that we are dragging it, dropping it here. So once that is done, it will actually download that file. And once the file is downloaded, you need to convert it into base64 string, because Nano image editing, that API, it will accept only the images in the base64 format. So we need to convert it. So base64 basically means converting an image into text, a very large text. So for that, I'll just type base64. So extract from file, move file to base64 string. So that is basically what I have done here. And the output would be something like this, a large data, huge data. Next, what I'm doing is I have added an edit field where I am again storing I have stored the message here. That is what is the message sent from the user. So that is there in the Telegram node. See here. Change background color to match with the rest. So that text I have added. Then ID again from the Telegram node. You have the ID here. Just drop it here. Then base image link. That would be from the search records. Base image link. Just drag and drop it here. Base64. That is again from the previous step. Extract from file. Just drag and drop it here. Image exists. I have kept it as true. Again, this is just for, it is not a must that you should add that. This is something that I added for my testing purpose, keeping some future automations in mind. So it is not must that you should add this. So we have edited the field, use the edit field and set up all the fields. Next, what we are doing is like we are going to edit the image. So at present, like N8N doesn't have a native node for Google's using this Google's new model, Nano Banana. So we are using a HTTP node. So just add a HTTP node and method should be post and URL should be exactly like this one. Okay. See, what I'll do is I'll put this automation or this workflow in my school community. So you can join my school community to get this workflow completely for free. Otherwise, if you don't want to join also, just take a screenshot of this particular area and ask ChatGPT to extract the URL from this image. And then send headers. Here, what you need to do is, see, put it exactly like this, and here replace it with your API key. So now you need to get the API key. So to get the API key, all you have to do is just go to Google AI Studio. So it can be accessed at aistudio.google.com. And once you are in the AI Studio, you have an option here called Get API Key. Just click the, and you have an option to create a new API key. Just click on this Create New API Key. And by default, you should have some Google Cloud project. Otherwise, you can actually create a new cloud project as well. Because if there is no cloud project, it will actually ask you to create a cloud project. In my case, it is already there. And so that is one thing. And please make sure that you add the billing information as well. See, again, if you create a new cloud console project, it will actually give you somewhere around $300 in credit. So that should be enough for you to test and run this automation a number of times. But for this image generation to work, a billing method should be added. Only then it will work. So click on usage and billing, and under billing, you have an option to set up billing. In my case, I have already set up the billing, but in your case, it won't be there. So you will have an option to set up the billing here. Just follow the instructions on screen. Because if you do not set up billing, the API key won't work. Because even without billing, also API key works for normal Gemini functions, but for image generation, it doesn't work. So once you have created the key, just copy it and paste it here. That is in Google here in the header. This particular area, just replace it with your key. So that is done. And now as for body, click on send body, content type JSON, then specify body using JSON. And again, this area also use it exactly like this, exactly like how I have given. So again, as I told you earlier, you can take a screenshot of this page, ask ChatGPT to extract text from this. Otherwise, just get this workflow for free from my school community. And if you have received the workflow for free from my school community, all you have to do is click here, just create a new workflow, and you have an option import from file. Just use that option. Now that part is done. And here, as for text, it should be the text, the message which we are receiving from the user. But make sure that you using the JSON stringify, because otherwise, if there are special characters in the message you are receiving on Telegrams, this will show an error. So that is why I'm using stringify. And as for base64, it is the one which we have generated and put it in the edit fields node. Right? Just drag and drop it here. So this particular node, it might take some 20-25 seconds to get executed. Okay. And please note that if you're using a self-hosted account with very less RAM, it will get stuck here. In my case, this was an issue that I faced and I lost a lot of time trying to figure out what was the issue. Once I have upgraded my RAM for self-hosted instance, it worked perfectly. So that is done. Next, we have a code node. So code node, I'm not sure like what I'll do is, yeah, see, this is actually a long code. So what I'll do is like, again, as I told you, I'll put this code node in my community. Okay. This workflow in my community. So you can get it. So again, this is not a code that I have personally written. See, the reason I'm using a code node here is that the output returned by this particular node, I'll just show you. It would be like this. Output would be something like this. Yeah, sometimes the output would be something like this, and at times what is happening is that it will also, this Google's AI generation model, it will also send a text message along with this message, so it will get this automation stuck. So to solve this issue, and what this particular code node will do is it will actually find out if there is a base64 string in the output received from the previous step, and if it is there, it will extract that. Okay, it doesn't matter if at all the output format changes in this particular node. So that is basically what this convert to file node does. As I told you, this would be available for free in my school community. And once it is converted to the file, see, the output would be something like this. That base64. Because see, our Google's image generation model, the output provided won't be in the image format. It would be in the base64 string format. So we have to convert that base64 string into an image file. That is what this particular node does. And once that is done, we need to upload that file into our Google Drive and then update our Airtable database. So that is what we are doing in the upload file node. The upload file and file name, it would be the ID, and I have given the base here, and parent folder. Just select the folder and stuff. And once that is done, we need to update our Airtable table with the new link. Okay, so that is what we are using in this particular node. So we are matching it with the ID, and we are updating the base image. Okay, once that is done, we are just sending a Telegram photo message. That is basically we are sending the image, generated image from the Google Banana Nano Banana API, and we are sending that photo back to the user. So send a photo. That operation would be send a photo in the Telegram node, and the chat ID would be the same thing from our Telegram node. See, chat ID. Yeah, this is the ID. So that is the ID we are using, and the output of the previous node is data. Okay, so that is what would be the input binary field. So the data we would give here, and it will actually send the message. So the reason why we are splitting into two different steps is that because for both these nodes, upload file and photo message, the input should be a data file, binary data file. Okay, because if I put this node after upload file, the input won't be a binary data file. So since both these nodes require input binary file as an input, that is why I'm splitting it into two different branches. So as I told you, this is basically how you can set up an image editing AI agent using Google's latest Nano Banana model and N8N. Okay, so you can customize it. And right now I have built it as a Telegram bot. You can always modify it as a WhatsApp bot or even an email based bot as well. So I hope all of you like this automation. So if you like this automation, don't forget to subscribe to my channel as well as like this video. And once again, a reminder, the workflow is available. This particular workflow file is available for free inside my school community. So please feel free to join my school community to get this automation absolutely free of cost. So once again, thank you for your time, and I'll see you later. Thank you guys.